I've always had the love for science and chemistry. I was fortunate enough to have a chemistry teacher who had spent time in industry as well. I still remember his name, would you believe it? Dr. Papadopoulos.
Really? Okay.
Oh yes. And so he left a huge impression.
Yeah.
Left a huge impression on me and others as well. So his love of science was just incredible. So that really, started, I think, my love of science and sort of chemical engineering. I was born in Ghana, as you know, and I grew up. I left Ghana when I was 8. My parents basically immigrated to the UK. But my early years in Ghana was really as an 8-year-old, seeing all the infrastructure development in Ghana, and at the time where you typically contrast that with what you see on TV in the West. And so it's one of those emerging developing countries, and that kind of leaves something with you. So moving to the UK, and you see contrast, right, between living and growing up in the UK, where to some degree you take things for granted. And then you go back to Ghana, people take you around and you see where your family's from. So you start with the end user, and then you look at OEMs and brand owners. And it's important that you engage those individuals or those organizations in a conversation around understanding what their pain points are. What are some of the things that keeps them awake at night, their goals and targets, and also, the need to address the plastic waste issue in terms of circularity. Top of mind for those customers is really looking for solutions on how we can help them, to grow their business and address those specific issues.
Welcome to the LYB podcast. I'm your host, DP Sidhu, content and social media manager for LyondellBasell. And today we are wrapping up our 3-part mini-series on circular and low-carbon solutions. We're focused on business-led sustainability. And today joining me is Wisdom Jochi, Senior Director of Marketing and Commercial Development for CLCS. Wisdom, welcome in, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me.
All right, so you've spent the past 2 years here in the CLCS business, but tell us a little bit about your LYB journey.
Sure, absolutely. I started with LYB in 2018. I came through the A. Schumann acquisition. A. Schumann had a small specialty business called Engineered Composites. And so after the acquisition, I had the opportunity to lead that business within the Advanced Polymer Solutions business, which is basically known internally as APS, within LyondellBasell. Highly niche business, selling into end-use markets like aerospace, defense, and then also the high-performance automotive. So I get the opportunity to really work on, really exciting applications. One of our big customers at the time was basically, Lamborghini, but in applications that are very exciting.
That is exciting. I saw a video of you, I think it was for Discovery Education. You were talking about growing up in Ghana.
That's right.
And you're a chemical engineer by trade. So I want to know, what is that connection? How did growing up in Ghana lead you to chemical engineering?
I was born in Ghana, as you know, and I grew up, I left Ghana when I was 8. My parents basically immigrated to the UK. But my early years in Ghana was really as an 8-year-old, seeing all the infrastructure development in Ghana, and at the time where you typically contrast that with what you see on TV in the West. And so it's one of those emerging developing countries, and that kind of leaves something with you. So moving to the UK, basically I grew up, I went to school and all of that. I think I've always had the love for science and chemistry. I was fortunate enough to have a chemistry teacher who had spent time in industry as well. I still remember his name, would you believe it? Dr. Papadopoulos.
Really? Okay.
Oh yes. And so he left a huge impression.
Yeah.
Left a huge impression on me and others as well. So his love of science was just incredible. He would have science labs, at lunchtime. Anyone who's interested in science would basically join, and we get to make beer and blow up things.
Oh, who doesn't like that? Yeah.
As a 14, 15-year-old, I mean, what could be better? So that really, started, I think, my love of science and sort of chemical engineering. And then, growing up, you naturally sort of have that perception in terms of wanting to do something, right? Because I had constant reminders where I would go on vacation back to Ghana, and you see contrast, right, between living and growing up in the UK, where to some degree you take things for granted. And then you go back to Ghana, people take you around and you see where your family's from. And I remember one event where my father took me to the village where he grew up, right? And he said, look, I'm only going to take you there for one night. So you spend the night and you can see what it's like, growing up.
In the village?
In the village.
Okay.
Right? Where after 6 o'clock, everything goes dark. If you're fortunate enough to have lighting, you have lighting. So those experiences kind of live with you as you grow up, and you always want to, give back and do something, that's impactful. So
Yeah.
that's what really drove me to wanting to get into sciences and engineering. The choice of chemical engineering, I think, really just stems from what could I get into that would give me the opportunity to use my knowledge of chemistry in the broader sense. And chemical engineering, seemed to be the right one.
So your family moves to London when you're 8 and you pursue schooling in London. Tell us a little bit about your education.
Yeah, education was fun. It's slightly different to, the US, right? So obviously you have your basic education and then you go to, high school. And that's where, the love of science actually came in. In fact, my original passion was, was soccer.
Was it?
I wanted to be a soccer player, right? So what we call it football in the US, you call it soccer.
Right.
So it's the round ball for those who are not familiar with that. Yeah, so growing up, love of sports. Everywhere I went, if I'm not in school, then I'll be playing soccer. And I would get together with friends and we will play soccer until it gets dark. In some cases, you don't even see the ball, right? But you still play, right? So that love of sports was really my true passion. And unfortunately, I didn't get to fulfill that. And, chemical engineering was the second best thing. And, no regrets. I love what I do.
That's a
And
good
it's very
backup
exciting.
plan.
Absolutely good backup.
So I have to ask you, who's your favorite soccer team then?
There's only one, right?
team.
There's only one football team,
And that
it's-
is?
It's Arsenal.
Okay. I just thought I would ask.
yeah, absolutely.
People might want to know these important facts about you.
So for all the Arsenal fans out there, this is our season. So
This is our season. Okay, so soccer's not in your future, but Houston was in your future. So you land in Houston with your family. Tell us a little bit about family life and what that looks for you.
I have four children. I have a son who's the eldest, and 3 daughters. The girls, they will keep you, very humble. They're all, old now, ages between 24 and 31. So, they've left home and, all scattered in the U.S. So I get to go visit them, from time to time. And so I have 2 in New York, 1 in Toledo, Ohio, and then the youngest one is in San Diego. I would say she's the smartest one out of all of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
hopefully
moving to the
the
West
other
Coast.
hopefully the others aren't listening to this.
Well, moving to the West Coast.
I see. I got you. Yeah, she's in the sunny
She's
sunny
in the
part
sunny
of the
part of the country, absolutely.
the best coast. Okay.
Absolutely.
What
Yeah,
about for
yeah.
you? You've got all this time now. You're focused very much so on CLCS and the commercial side. What is that like? Tell us what it's like to work on the commercial side of CLCS for LYB and really supporting our customers.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I think if you look at it from the viewpoint that we are creating a market, right? It's a very nascent business. And it's a complex business as well in terms of what we're trying to do. The circular low carbon solutions business, we call it CLCS for short, has really only been, in existence for 2.5 years. Starting from scratch, and really our approach to market, it's a little different. And so we typically look at engaging with end users and OEMs, right? So you start with the end user, and then you look at OEMs and brand owners. And it's important that you engage those individuals or those organizations in a conversation around understanding what their pain points are. What are some of the things that keeps them awake at night, their goals and targets. And certainly in recent years, I think you're familiar with a lot of the brand owner commitments that have been made around climate change and also the need to address the plastic waste issue in terms of circularity. Top of mind for those customers is really looking for solutions on how we can help them, to grow their business and address those specific issues. And so every opportunity starts with a conversation. So really enjoy talking to them and then working back, taking that knowledge that you gain in terms of what matters to them, bringing that back internally, working with, the talented team that we have, whether it's our technology folks, innovation, manufacturing. And we have a group that focus upstream, right, which is unique. Upstream meaning that, we have, the commercial end that works on product development and then sells those to customers. Upstream in our sense is, a colleague, some of you may know Marion Maximus, who leads.
We had her on the podcast,
We had her on the
yes.
podcast, exactly, as well. So she leads a team that's focused on developing the infrastructure upstream. So in terms of where do we get our feedstock? So she's got a very talented group looking at, ways in which we can develop that infrastructure. From that, really looking at multiple technologies, because we have a number of technology pathways, right, depending on what the customer needs and what they wanted to do, whether it's address issues of plastic waste from a circularity perspective or reduce the impact on the environment in terms of climate change. So they're looking for products with a lower carbon footprint. We have technology pathways for each of those things. And so we tailor those solutions specific to what the needs of our customers are. And so my job is really translating what the customer needs are into solutions, reaching back into the organization, selecting the right ones, and then collaborating with customers or value chain partners. If we don't have it, we know somebody who does. So how do we collaborate with those individuals or those companies to come up with a solution that works for the customer? Yeah, so that's what we do.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there, and I feel like you touched on it. But tell us why this approach is so unique.
I think what's different in terms of our level of differentiation is we're technology agnostic in a sense that we have multiple technologies addressing specific issues for the customer, right? So that helps. We have breadth in terms of our product offering or solutions offering. Again, targeting different issues that we have. What we've also been able to do and continuing to really perfect is really in developing unique technologies or proprietary technologies in each of those areas that differentiates from what our competitors are doing. You may have heard about our Multec technology, which is our advanced recycling technology that is in development. Is going to be operational sometime second half of 2026 in Wesseling in Germany. And then soon afterwards, we're hoping to even scale that up even larger than that. Those unique technologies gives us the advantage in terms of scale as well, because what our customers want is really, I think, solutions that are, really accessible, that brings value to them, addresses their issues. But also, I think it's a scale, right? It's a scale of, what we're trying to do, which we believe is very differentiating from our competitors.
So proprietary technology, the ability to scale, some of the advantages. Absolutely. Any other advantages do you like to highlight when customers come to you and want to know what the advantages of working with LYB?
Oh yeah, I think when you work with LYB, you have a very talented group, right? You've got a very talented group. In terms of expertise, we're blessed with the richness of technical expertise and commercial innovation as well, right? You don't always associate innovation with sort of commercial, but our team is very creative. So it's really the people, that you get to work with in the very comprehensive nature of the products that we offer. And that integration as well in terms of our ability to go across the value chain. We have businesses that are very close to the end customer, like our Advanced Polymer Solutions business that takes, polymers and then compound it, produces master batches that they sell to converters, and in some cases actually do business directly with brand owners as well. So proximity to the market is very, very important. So we bring that knowledge, and then we have the ability to reach in, not just internally, but outside of LyondellBasell to our suppliers as well. This competency we have around, collaboration is a big deal within LyondellBasell. So the ability to collaborate with others, whether internally or externally, brings the richness and the value that we can bring to customers.
I know you have a busy year planned for 2025 in the CLCS business. So what really excites you about what's coming up this year?
There's a lot. There's a lot going on. Definitely a lot going on. I think one thing I really want to promote is that we are organizing a big customer event in April. It's a business-led sustainability event that will take place in Bologna in Italy. It's a 3-day event where we're bringing key industry stakeholders together, our customers, suppliers, leading players within the industry, to sit down and share ideas, talk about, the challenges that we all face together, and work on solutions. We're, really excited about the opportunity to have everybody in one room, sitting at one table and
customers, business, everyone.
Businesses. Yeah. We plan to have, legislators as well in that meeting, because what's really important is having the dialogue. It's educating others in terms of what you're trying to do, understanding their viewpoints, and also putting all the ideas into a pot and hopefully coming up with something which will be certainly much better than we have today.
It sounds very ripe for a lot of great discussion in 2025. A lot to look forward to.
A lot to look forward to. We also have, towards the end of the year, we have the K Fair, which is the largest sort of polymer industry conference, sort of trade shows that we have. That will be in Germany. we would have a large presence there. Another opportunity to sit down with our customers as well and, see what we can do for them. And then in between, we're working on new products. We just recently acquired basically our recycling plant in California, and we'll be bringing that up and running, towards the end of the year as well. So we've got some exciting new products that we'll be offering to the marketplace. So, looking forward to it.
We can't wait to see it, Wisdom. Thank you so much for your time. And if you want to learn more about the circular and low carbon solutions business, check out lyb.com and be sure to like and subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss a single episode. But thank you so much for joining us, Wisdom, and thanks for the time.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.